It's a beautiful day in the happy neighborhood. Thank you for joining. Would you be mine? Oh my gosh, thank you so much for tuning in today for the Get Your Happy On live stream with your host, Olivia, your savvy social humorist. I'm so excited for today's episode and our featured guest. Welcome again to the hashtag Happy Half Hour. This is where you can bring your own favorite beverage of choice. And I just want to show off this mug because I feel that dolphins is my spirit animal. I'm curious to know, what is your spirit animal? Drop it in the chat right now. Let me hear from you. But I love dolphins. They're my spirit animal. And when I found this mug, I just had to have it. So this is my dolphin mug. And I am drinking turmeric latte today. Ta-da, turmeric latte. So, and you can add water, but I've decided to add in like almond milk. So it's like super frothy, super yummy. Oh, super creamy. So let me know what you're having today and participate in our conversation. And this is something that I picked up in the store. It's from this company called Avalanche, and they're from New Zealand. So imagine that. So turmeric latte from a company in New Zealand. And super easy to use. Just mix and add your choice of beverage. All right. So say hello to us in the comments, in the chat. I'd love to welcome you onto the show. Oh, Marina. Of course, Marina is chiming in. Hello, Marina. Marina's saying pass on my turmeric latte. She's going for tequila instead. That's awesome. That is, I guess, the national beverage for Mexico. So way to go. Way to represent, Marina. Always a fun time with you here. Awesome. So when I introduce our next guest, I feel that I have interviewed Cathy Nesbitt like 5 times now. So Cathy and I have been following each other's careers ever since 2020, and it's been so amazing to see her grow and to be a part of her journey and have her in mind. She's taught me everything I know in Laughter Yoga. She's my first teacher trainer. And now she's teaching me about how to get on media and other podcast shows. It's really exciting. And something new that I'm learning from her, what we'll talk about today, is how to become a mental health first aider. Yes, so mental health first aider is something brand new. I've only heard a little bit about it from her. And so today we're going to go and have a deeper dive conversation. So if you're curious about what it means to be mental health first aider, stay tuned. We are going to chat it up with Cathy. Oh, May Klein is in the house too. Look at that. My fan club is here. Thank you. Thank you, Marina. And thank you, May, for being here as well. Thank you so much for your support. So with that being said, let's bring on Cathy Nesbitt.
That one's for you, Marina. My sombrero, my happy hat. Yubi!
Marina has so many different talents. She's a hat maker. Oh my gosh. Excellent. So welcome, Cathy.
Thank you.
Cheers to you.
And cheers to this water today.
Here's water. Excellent.
Mm.
I was going through my pantry and I wanted to look for my organo coffee, so my organo hot chocolate. And I realized that I need to reorder because I didn't have any on hand for today.
How did you let that happen?
I love it. And so if you don't know, organo is amazing. Cathy, you have some organo products that you'd like to send out. And so please get in touch with her. Their hot chocolate is amazing. I can't believe I ran out. It would have been perfect for today, but I'll need to reorder.
Coffee, hot chocolate, red and green tea. Yum, all infused with reishi mushroom.
Talk a little bit about that, because I think that what makes it so unique and stands out. Talk about the reishi mushroom component for a bit.
Yeah, reishi mushroom is one of those ancient things, elements. I don't know what you call it. Well, it's a fungus, but that is nutritious. So it's called an adaptogen, which means the energy of the mushroom goes where your body needs it. And it used to be in. I believe it was in China. Only the emperors had access to it. If commoners had reishi mushroom, they would be punished. And so it's available for everybody. And Organo has magically put it into, it's instant coffee. The coffee is delicious. So for any coffee snobs, I was too. I love my French press and, grinding the beans and all of that whole process. I love that part and the smell of the coffee. The beautiful part about instant coffee that's nutritious and infused with reishi mushroom, you can take it anywhere. When you go to a restaurant, you can still have your delicious beverage. And most coffee is acidic. Organo coffee is alkaline. In our body, when we have an imbalance in our pH, when we're too acidic, that's when disease can happen. So the coffee is alkaline and helps to balance our pH. Whew, thanks for the plug.
I mean, not only are you an award-winning, ecopreneur, laughter yoga ambassador, mental health first aider, I mean, you're a businesswoman too. So I love that you find different ways to bring in income, right? And Organo just happens to be one of them. And I love supporting other people with, products because I'd rather buy from you than go somewhere else. So, yeah.
Right, exactly. Here we go. We troop around. I love how you said that we kind of do figure eights, we're doing Celtic weaves where we're weaving our energy together. It's so beautiful.
Look at that. Marina's sending you fireworks. Fireworks, Cathy!
Marina, right back at you. Boom, bang, boom, 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 boom. Youpee!
Patty, Ella, I'm a big fan of yours, so I think it just, so thank you for being on
Patty! Look at the magic of the internet.
I know. And I think, Patty, this is your first live stream appearance as a guest. And so soon to come, you'll be, participating on this as well, because we're going to be doing some new fun things with the Green Connections Network. So, yes, awesome. You're getting a first look at it, Patty. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So I just want to tell people how Cathy and I met, because it was indeed so magical. And it all came about from the pandemic. And I think back that, what a blessing in disguise that was, because I was able to get online and meet so many virtual friends. And this will be my 5th interview with you. 5th. I remember when I first started out, I was using StreamYard, and I had this whole series called Lunchtime Live. And I only got up to 14 episodes. Yes, this is episode number 13. So fingers crossed, I'm going to beat that hurdle. I'm going to get over the 14th episode and beyond next week. But anyway, so I did Lunchtime Live, and you're my first guest on that one. And then I worked with you to do your speaker spotlight in February for the Sing Heart Song Summit. So that was another sort of mini interview. And then we did another speaker spotlight just in June or July for the Sounds of Summer edition for speaker spotlight. And then you actually were on another show that I'm producing for LaDonna McAbee. She does Throwback Thursday. And it just so happened to be International Compost Awareness Week. And so you were the spokesperson for that. So we just had to have you on and be interviewed. And now here you are. So this is your 5th appearance with me.
No matter the topic, I fit in.
And that is so cool. You're constantly evolving, and I love that about you. Constantly evolving. Yes, it is so awesome, Patty, to see the evolution of Cathy Nesbitt, right? And giving you 100 points. But it is so cool, and it's so inspiring to see that it doesn't have to stop, right? You can continue to evolve, and when you talk about how to help us have a more sustainable life, this is it. It's your mental well-being, your self-care, your health and nutrition, all these things. You really do help us have a sustainable life.
If we're not growing, we're decomposing.
Now that's quite an image.
It's the truth though, right? Nature doesn't sit still. Nature's always on the move, and when it's not, it's on decline, and somebody's consuming it. Don't sit still too long.
Oh my goodness.
Get your happy on. Yoop. If you're just tuning in.
Exactly. Get your happy on. Exactly. All right. Oh, wait. Okay. I think we've got the fan club in the room. So I'm just going to put the chat overlay. And so keep it coming. We love to see those chats coming in. So last week I had interviewed, one of our mutual colleagues, Lee Jean Fung in Malaysia. And, she's a volunteer for like, mental health awareness, suicide prevention. And she had talked about, people committing suicide. And then you brought up a good point, saying, let's change up the language about that. Let's no longer say committed. Can you maybe share a little bit about that? Why that's important to change how we speak about suicide?
Yeah, mental well-being in general. I think it's really important. There's a huge stigma we know attached to when people are experiencing mental health challenges. So if somebody says that somebody has committed suicide, it sounds like, they've committed a crime. They did something wrong when they were actually just experiencing a mental decline and they were needing help, or maybe they wanted to exit. That's okay too. But when we say that, yeah, committing suicide. So how, with this program that I just took, which is the mental health first aid program, and if I could talk about that. So for suicide, what you say, but instead is they died by suicide or death by suicide. Um, and you don't say, a failed suicide attempt, because you don't fail, say, at cancer or whatever, right? You're not committing cancer, sort of along the same lines if somebody dies as a result of their illness from cancer. So it's really just changing it around, because when people feel like they're going to be judged for speaking out about something they may be experiencing, then they may just stay quiet and suffer or experience that on their own. And then, then you're left with the voice in your head, which we all know is not your friend. It's that awful critic that's inside. And so if you're already in a challenging state, that voice in your head is not going to help you. So I did say that I was going to talk about the program, so I will. So this is an international program. There are first aid courses around the world to help us deal when people have an accident or somebody's having a heart attack or whatever, when we see the signs. Now, that's not for diagnosing any diseases or illnesses somebody might have. It's offering support until the paramedics come, or until you do CPR or whatever you're doing, just to help keep the person alive and safe and comfortable. Same with the mental health first aid program. It's helping to recognize when somebody is having a mental health challenge, that's a decline, and it's not diagnosing, it's not fixing, it's offering support. We're not saying, oh, you must be depressed, you should take this pill, or you should go and, no, it's none of that. It's just talking to them. Most people really just want to be heard. And so I'm just going to hold up the book that I took. It's a really big manual. This one is the Canadian course. This was a mental health first aid reference guide, and this was from Canada, in Canada. I believe many countries have their own version, and this program was, pardon me, this international program started in 2007, because way before COVID, we had this mental health tsunami, and it's just been acerbated, is that what you say? It's been accelerated during this time because we've been isolated. When people are struggling mentally, you can't keep them alone. If people have issues with substance abuse or use, I should say, leaving them alone is not the answer. And we never do that. But during this time, we're all on our own, not all, but, many people are struggling with being isolated.
Thank you, Cathy. And, I pulled up a link here. So this is mentalhealthfirstaid.org, and I think it's for the US. And so I appreciate that it's like kind of like you're driving international awareness. And I think I watched one of your videos for Fabulous Fun Fridays, and you had mentioned some statistic about Canadians. Can you share that again? Do you remember that statistic?
Absolutely, yes. In Canada, it's estimated 1 in 5 Canadians experience a mental health decline on any given year. And on a global scale, it's estimated about 10% of the population is experiencing a challenge at any given time. 10% of the population, that means 1 in 10. 1 in 10 people. So if there was 10 people standing in a group, one of them. So imagine you're a family of, you know, mom and dad and grandpa and grandpa, whatever that, like there's 10 of you, whatever that works out to. You know, one of you may be experiencing a challenge and you might not even know, it's invisible.
Right. And gosh, and it's just, I think before, like, there was a lot of stigma, like you said, attached to talking about this. And now we really have to be able to be comfortable and open and given the right words to say. We might not have the right words to say, but at least like be sympathetic or have an empathetic ear.
Because everybody at any time, any given time, anybody can experience something. A mental health, like a mental health challenge is something that's diagnosable. So sometimes we feel sad, you know, we go through a variety of emotions, even on a daily basis during this cuckoo time. Ha ha ha, not funny. But we got to laugh, right? We know as laughter people. Yeah, so at any given time we can be sad or get news, somebody might pass away and we're grieving, but we don't have a diagnosis of depression. We often say, "Oh, I'm depressed," but we maybe don't really. So again, that I think that goes to the stigma, because people often use that word again very loosely. People will say, "Oh, I'm depressed. I've been," and if you're depressed, that means you can't function. You're I mean, on a variety of, you know, know that this isn't everybody. That, you know, if you're depressed and have a diagnosis, you have severe depression. You're probably not eating properly. You can't hold down a job. Social activities are very challenging, you know, and it goes on. And then you may go to the doctor or, you know, and, you know, not that medication doesn't work. There's other ways or combination of ways, because when people take, say, antidepressants, that often is a serotonin uptake inhibitor, which suppresses our own natural serotonin. So it works maybe, and maybe not, during the time that you're taking it. Now stop taking it and your symptoms come back, because it's like putting a band-aid on a cut. You're just, you know, um, it's a surface remedy. It's not getting to the cause of the problem.
Yes. Oh, Marina, thank you. So yes, we need to let them know that we're not judging. They're not alone, right? I think that is so key to, and that's what Lee Jean talked about last time too. Like that's why she is driven to create the Johor Bahru, Happy and Joyous Club. Is that way people have a sense of belonging, like they know there's a place they can go and be accepted. I've heard even stories in the news about why the next pandemic is going to be a mental health, the mental health decline, the mental health crisis is going to be our next pandemic.
Not next. It's here already. I would say
Already?
they're saying next. It's here already, because if we look at, again, I don't know the stats on this, but there have been more deaths in some parts of Canada from opioid um, toxic, you know, exposure than from COVID. Right. And we're not even saying, like, that's another piece where we're saying, rather than saying that somebody OD'd, it's that the drugs today are so toxic. They are so laced with all this horrible chemicals that somebody may need a fix. And please, again, don't judge people for having addictions. Let's get to the root. Why are they addicted? What happened? You know, I find it fascinating that we look at little children, like, look at those little kids, da da da. Those little kids grow up. They grow up to be adults, and then they commit crimes if they had challenging childhoods. And people are like, when they're children, we're like, oh, those poor children. But then they grow up, and we forget that they might have come from challenging times. And rather than supporting them, giving them a hand and saying, here, let me help you, we want to shut them away in prison, or we want to, put them on medication or in institutions. We want to shut them away from society. And we are all one. We know we're just all energy. We all come from the same source, whatever you believe. So by judging that person, you're judging you.
Yeah. Have you heard of Natalie Segal before? Does that name sound familiar?
No, no. Tell me about Natalie.
So Natalie, she's a woman that I met, and big shout out to Jill Grumbosh, who leads a Wednesday night women's writing group, and she's up in Canada. I figured all Canadians should know each other. Anyway, so,
Small population, right? Big
but
size.
So Jill, I mean, I think she's on a summer break right now, and I hope like she'll bring it back again. It's a holistic inklings like women's writing script, but she brings on a guest speaker, and I'm just going through my notes here, and I remember like meeting Natalie, and she talked about the same thing about how, let's remove that stigma from using the word committed because we don't say like committed suicide, committed cancer, for example, right? It's not a crime, and it's putting the blame on the person. Um, and then she talked a lot about just having like the ability to ask hard questions. Like Lee Jean was saying this too. Like Lee Jean was saying, like how often does it come up in everyday conversation? Like, oh, by the way, have you ever had suicidal thoughts? That's a hard question just to bring up in conversation, but it's necessary just to be able to see where people are at.
Absolutely. If somebody is, you can see that somebody's really sad or really down. Asking that question, people will say, well, doesn't that encourage them to do it? And it's like, no, if you ask somebody that's in that state, they generally will say yes or no. They won't hesitate. They'll say yes or no. And then the next question, if they say yes, then you ask them, have they thought about what means they will use? And then if they say I've been storing up my prescription pills, or they have access to a firearm, or whatever they say, rope, or whatever they say, then okay. And then the next question is, have you thought about timeline? You just ask like the hard questions. These are hard. This is hard conversation. That's why you need to be grounded and look after yourself. This is really about radical self-care and taking care of, like, it's not about just helping everyone else, being mamby-pamby looking after everyone. No, looking after us so we can, like yourself, so then you can help the people. So if they say yes, I'm whatever they say, the date, then action is required because they have a plan.
Hmm.
They have a plan. So ask them if they felt like that before, and if they say yes, ask them if what has helped them in the past. Who have they reached out to in the past? Could they reach out to them again? They're hard questions, but these are questions that we need to start asking because we are all one. And when people are experiencing a challenge, it's just for right now. It's just a moment thing. We've all had times where we were extremely sad or really down, and we think, oh my gosh, this is like, I know for me, before I found my way, I used to experience very black times, and I thought, nobody's ever felt this way before. No one has ever been in this black hole before, and I don't even know how I'm going to get out of here. And then something happens, somebody calls you, and because I know, like, for me, I'm happy Cathy. I never wanted to call anybody when it was in a bad way, because I didn't want anyone to judge me, like, oh, sure, you have this happy persona, but secretly sad. And that's the stigma. That's the stigma. It takes time and it takes courage to reach out when you need help. It really does.
Um, and something that Natalie also taught, I'm going through my notes and it's been a while, but just to tell the person, I love you, you're important to me as you're
You
going,
matter.
you matter. Exactly. You matter.
Yes.
And she said that, suicide is against convention because we're hardwired to survive. Like as humans, we are
Mm.
hardwired to survive. So suicide is against all convention. And it's because they've exhausted all options that they're even thinking about that. Or they're just like in that particular moment and feeling that decline.
Yeah, you're not alone, Marina Road. You're not alone. That's exactly it. Because when you're feeling so desperate, that's it. You just feel like you're alone. There's nobody gets why you're feeling that way. It could be a whole series of things. And what one person's trigger is could be completely different from somebody else. You know, you and I could experience the exact same thing, and you might be, what, nothing, and I might, you know, end up in a really deep decline. And it could be, oh, like this is going pretty deep, but this could be like past life stuff. It could be ancestral line. It could be it could be from somewhere else. You were walking down the street and you picked up somebody's energy, if you're empathic, like I am, until you manage how to put shields on, etheric shields and whatnot, and hold your energy strong so that you can manage functioning in society. There's so much energy going on. And talking about energy, Olivia, in our body, we have 9 different energy systems. No wonder sometimes we're out of whack. You know, some of the ones that people might have heard of, and I'm not an expert in this. This is just something that I'm delving into now. I am a lifelong learner. I love learning new things, especially about how I can take care of myself. And so energy medicine is one way. And Donna Eden, I'm going to drop her name here. Eden Energy Medicine is a beautiful way. So let me talk about that before I get on to Donna. So the 9, no, I'm not going to mention all 9, but some of the energy systems are meridians. Some people might have heard of meridians. So they're kind of the transportation. Aura is kind of another energy field. Chakras are an energy system. Celtic weave, we kind of mentioned that, but not as an energy system, but it really is one of the energy systems. And if you think about our body in laughter, I often do figure 8s around the body, right? So figure 8s all around. When you're talking to someone, you could be doing figure 8s kind of under the table or through the screen, and it connects your energies. It's a beautiful thing. It's kind of this magic way. And then we talk about in laughter, triple warmer smoothie. Triple warmer is also one of the energies, and radiant circuits. And radiant circuits govern fight, flight, or freeze. Triple warmer is one of the radiant circuits. I mean, this is getting into the whole energy system, but I think it's very cool. People can certainly look more into that if they want to know more of these energies. But it's really amazing when you understand more about this. So I do a lot of work on my radiant circuits. I do a daily, I do Donna Eden. So I mentioned Donna Eden. This cuckoo time is such a beautiful gift because I've just discovered all these beautiful gems on the internet and connected. So I started doing Donna Eden's 28-day joy challenge in June 2020. And I'm still doing it. 28 days. I'm like 2 years in. And so it's a 5-minute routine that kind of just helps smooth out your energy. You know, you do connecting heaven and earth and blowing out venom and just kind of these whole different simple, a few little tapping spots, the 4 that I do in my laughter club. So it's 5 minutes, and I do it usually barefoot, so I'm connected to the earth's energy, because when we started wearing shoes, we got disconnected from the earth's energy, and they say that could be where, like, the kind of the beginning of many of our physical challenges, because we're disconnected from the earth's energy. So I would encourage everybody every day at some point to go out and just connect with the earth. If you live in Florida or Mexico, yes, Marina and Olivia, I'm coming to visit. You can go on the beach in the sand. So you get the energy from the ocean, from the sand. And it just, we know it reinvigorates us. We just get renewed. And Patty, if you're still on the call, she just got back from the cottage. So she was, swimming in not the ocean, but the lake. Yeah, so beautiful.
I love that. I have heard of Donna Eden before. So I follow Donna Eden on YouTube. So I didn't realize the 28-day joy challenge was hers, but this is a link on it here. So big shout out to Donna Eden. Follow her, and her YouTube videos are so easy and fun to go ahead and follow. So that's amazing.
Yeah, and I'd like to talk more about Donna. I mean, I feel like I'm in love with her. Like I can't wait to meet her.
No,
It does. He does actually. I mention her all the time. So Donna, I don't know how old she is, but she's in her mid-70s at least. She had MS. She had tuberculosis. She had asthma. She had a really crappy early life, and in her 20s, on all these medications, one thing, another, and then the side effects, all the stuff. Somehow, I don't know the story of how she found energy medicine, but she discovered and then she started working on herself, and she can actually see energy. She can actually see the colors and see the auras and see all of that stuff, which is that's a real gift. So when you encounter Donna, apparently at these things, she can kind of look at you and know what's up with you, what needs fixing, not fixing, but where the energy's not flowing, right? Pain is just blocked energy. That's it.
Big shout out to Patty. It's a challenge in the winter, but I love it most of the year.
Oh
Swimming
yeah,
in
Patty.
Yay, thank you, Patty.
Right. So, and especially now, summertime. Oh, in Canada, we have like kind of a shortish summer. I love winter too. It's a little bit more challenging to go out in your bare feet in the snow. Not impossible, but yeah, you got to be dedicated, earther.
Indeed, indeed. So now that you've got your mental health first aid certification, what are you looking to do with that? Like, what is the next step for you? Are you getting more involved with some organizations locally, or will you be doing some more speaking engagements on that topic?
Like all of my offerings, Olivia, I think it's kind of just going to be another tool in my toolbox. And I'm just much more aware when I'm walking around, to notice people, to see, I am intuitive, I am empathic. So I do notice people's energy, and I go up to them, and, I'm just more aware. So how am I going to use my first aid certificate? I hope to be of service to more people, just as I'm out and about living my life.
That's awesome. And I'm gonna make sure that you connect with Natalie Segal. So
Okay.
I will find her information. Hopefully, you guys will connect too, because I think she'll be a good introduction.
Mm.
Give you a good introduction to some things that she's doing.
Yeah, this is really important topic. People see people that use different substances, be it food or drugs, alcohol, sex, whatever it is. We're just looking to get those love drug hits, and we know we can laugh and get the same benefit. So if you're watching and you're using, come and join us. No, so people say, did the mental diagnosis come first or the substance, use? And are they together? Do you have to be one or the other, or can you have both? It isn't chicken or egg, what came first. It's just circumstances. Sometimes people are in circumstances that are out of their control, or seemingly out of their control, and no judgment. We really need to come from our heart, and when we come from our heart, we know we're one, and we can be more empathetic, less judgmental, and live a more wonderful life. Everybody has a story, as running your Sing Your Heart Song Summit. The people that you meet when you ask questions, it's incredible. It's just like, wow, because you meet people at the moment. Like, I really don't know much, although we've talked many times. I don't know much about your life before 2020, but there's a whole lifetime before that. Same with me. You don't know my life before. You just know me now, and I'm awesome, and you're awesome. Were we always? Maybe not. Of course we were. And are.
I think we're more awesome now because we're in each other's energy fields.
Oh, Marina, I love that. He or she, they, who laughs more judges less. Oh, yes, right? Because you're laughing. Nothing to judge about. Just laugh. I love it. It's so beautiful.
You talked just now about the triple warmer smoothie. Can we lead everyone through that?
Let's do that. Oh, this one is so beautiful. Yes, play along, everybody. So rub your hands together because these are the conductors. So just rub your hands, get the energy going, shake them off. And then what we're going to do, we're just going to cover our eyes. So if you're watching, don't cover your eyes. No, I'll talk you through it. Just cover your eyes. And if you have your glasses on, you might want to take them off. Because it's important to like kind of touch in the middle in that core. You can just sit here for a moment and take a nice deep breath in through your nose. And as you exhale, pull your hands across drag your hands across your eyes to your temple. And then point your fingers at your temple. Just sit there for a moment. And then as I want you to breathe in and kind of trace your ears, breathe in, trace your ears, and then flatten around your ears. And as you exhale, just kind of drag down your neck gently and land on your heart chakra. Woo! And that may inspire you to take a nice deep breath in. So let's do that. Inside out. Ooh. I hope you felt a shift. Thank you for triple warmer smoothie. So what we're doing is tracing triple warmer backwards. We spend most of our life, especially in this society that we're in, that's high energy. We're always, doing stuff. So we're often in stress because our little stress part of our brain, our amygdala, has not evolved since it was born. So things trigger us and we think that, our little amygdala thinks that we're in imminent danger and we're not. So it's kind of imaginary stress rather than real. Not to suggest that some people are not in danger. Some people are in danger. And yes, you should be stressed. But, like for the most part, you lost your keys. Is that stressful? No, not really. Like only for the moment. It's just like, oh. But if we can train ourselves to stay out of stress as best as possible by breathing, being centered, doing your triple warmer smoothie. If you do get in stress, know that you're secreting cortisol, you're not breathing. Whenever you put toxins in your body, like cortisol, it's careening through your body. Your body now needs to get it out of there. So what animals do is when they get stressed, like I'll use rabbit. So if rabbit is lucky enough to survive the predator, rabbit's going to go under a tree or go somewhere and shake. Look, whoa, thank goodness I survived that. Yay, I lived for another moment. They don't think all this. They just go and shake off that stress and then they hop off and start munching on clover. Right? We don't shake. We keep that in. We keep that trauma in. So, so we need to be more like look at the wildlife and how do they function when they get stressed? They go shake it off so they can get on with their day. We need to shake it off, and we don't.
So I'm in Humor Academy, and it's my 3-year certification program to become a certified humor professional. And something that came up in my cohort, and it relates to she saw something happen in her community. And if I may share, because maybe you could provide some perspective on this, because we have a laughter yoga background, right? And so for someone that doesn't have a laughter yoga background or has that training or knowledge, what advice could we give? Because she's in this community and, one of the people had their son, die by suicide. And so where do we find the levity and joy in life again when we have that sort of overwhelming weight on us? How do we bring back humor and laughter to the life of the family that's kind of experiencing this loss right now? And they're coming to terms with someone that they love very much.
Right. Not laughing full on right at the beginning. Right? It's not like, okay, come on and laugh. And we're just going to just forget about what's going on. No, we need to be sensitive. We need to be, again, come with compassion, open-hearted, and just, talk about how, although if you've never had somebody die by suicide, you can't say I understand because you don't. That's not true. So you're not being authentic. really, I think people really want to, either they want to be quiet, they might not want to talk about it. So invite them to talk about it if they want. If not, then just hold space for them and encourage, like, let them know that you're there if they need a hug, if they want to just sit in silence, if they want to remember the person. You know, it really is, the person is passed from this life, but they're not gone entirely. We know we're just energy, so we go back again. Yeah. So I would say just asking them to acknowledge their emotions and acknowledge how they're feeling. You can't just discount the grief. The grieving process is individual. It's unique to each person. So we need to I would really say just hold space for them and let them know that you're there for whenever they need to. Yeah, bring slowly. Yeah, just it's a time thing. It really is time.
Yes, time indeed. Thank you, Marina. So bring slowly happy memories, connect with them, the love they feel for their relatives that passed away. Yes. And something I learned too is what you just said just now. Like sometimes maybe they don't want to talk about it. Just be with them in silence. Just be
Yeah,
there in spirit.
just be
So,
holding space, right? Sometimes we're very uncomfortable with silence.
mm.
But I know that sometimes I'm chatty Cathy, but sometimes
Are you really? Are you?
sometimes I want to be quiet and I really don't want to talk about whatever it is that I'm experiencing. And I just want to feel it for a little bit. Um, kind of on the opposite of that, sometimes when people, Marina, it's true. See, sometimes when somebody's spouse dies or their lifelong partner passes, people think they don't want to talk about them. And that's really not the case. If somebody's been with somebody 30, 40, 50 years and they pass, of course, they were a large part of their life, especially if they had a loving, wonderful relationship. So I often will ask people again, hey, would you like to talk about Joe? Would you like to talk about Jill? And if they say, oh, thank you, because sometimes people pussyfoot around and they don't want to talk about them because they think they might make them feel sad. Sometimes people feel sad when nobody mentions them again. It's like, oh, they died, so we don't want to bring them up. It's like, no, they were a large part of their life. So I think it's really, Olivia, I think the real secret is just being open, being aware, asking questions, and waiting for the answer rather than trying to force what we think they might want or feel or need.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Yeah. And I love what you said, like we are energy. So they never really like went away. Our memories of them, the way we talk about them, like we still hold a piece of them.
Yeah, and all those happy memories that you had, we can relive those wonderful experiences anytime. I mean, once we've managed the grief and however long that process is, it's different for everybody and for every person that will come and go in your life.
Indeed, indeed. Awesome.
Hmm.
Wow. Such an important topic, but I'm glad that we have this space to explore and to talk about it. And like I think so many people see us like we're very happy and naturally upbeat, and they don't get it if we are having a downtime.
And yes, exactly, Olivia, that's exactly right. And where we always hear, no, we're a work in progress. We're always evolving. We're always hopefully growing rather than decomposing. To bring it back to around to where we started.
Okay, you need to tell everyone because they might have not heard it at the summit, but you had said that you went and met with a journalist. People are afraid of worms. And what did you say? Because it was just
I said, yes, it was talking to a journalist, and I thought I was off the record, but you never are with journalists, by the way. And she said, "Why do you think that people are afraid of worms?" And I said that people were afraid of death because worms get you in the end. And that ended up in the article. And my business went up because people were like, "I'm not afraid of death. Bring on the worms." Okay, whatever.
Oh my gosh, you had me at worms get you at the end. So be there for now. Be there for now. Go ahead and get your warm composting bin because they get you in the end.
Exactly, right. Befriend them now. And I look forward when my time is done to becoming worm food.
Cathy Nesbitt's last words. I look forward to becoming warm food.
When my time is done, not yet.
Not yet. So amazing. Oh my gosh. If you are enjoying this conversation with Cathy, please make sure that you connect with her. The premise of the Get You Happy On show, I always love to hear your comments. I encourage you to connect and collaborate. So if you did not know this, but Cathy is quite popular on the podcast circuit. So if you are looking for a guest on any number of things, I mean, she could talk about anything. I've had her on for 5 times, so that's how good she is. So please get in touch with her and find out how she can become a guest on your show if you have a podcast or if you're in need of a keynote speaker. If you're running the next virtual summit, online summit, please get in touch
Yes.
with her. You can find her here on LinkedIn. This is her link right here. And then she's got an amazing website, Cathy'sComposters.com, where everything is available. So all your links, everything is available there too. I highly encourage you to find her on Facebook. So this is her link on Facebook. And then, of course, you can also get to know her. Maybe you're like, I don't know about this Cathy character. Come and check her out on the Cathy's Chuckle Club. And that's every
Yeah.
Tuesday morning at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. It's a lot of fun. And like Cathy said earlier, she has so many tools in her toolkit. And so guaranteed, when you come to her Laughter Yoga Club, she's going to be pulling in like the meridians and the tapping, energy systems, this triple warmer smoothie, all of it, right? All of it, because we can cultivate these tools. These are our inner tools
Yeah.
and they're internal. And you just need to have a guide or a mentor like Cathy to really help you express it and practice it, right? It's a practice, it's a way of life. And one thing I do want to recommend is that every Friday, tomorrow, I can't wait. So every Friday, I look forward to the new release of a Fabulous Fun Friday video. So Cathy comes on every week diligently and provides like a fun video that you can just, come and watch and join along. And she's always on location. I think you did one at the Butterfly Conservatory and I loved it. And you did like butterfly themed laughter yoga exercises. Like, who would have thought?
So fun.
So,
My proboscis.
yes, indeed. I mean, Cathy offers so much. And so you're bound to find her on one way or another. So one way in the end, you will get to know Cathy. And yes, Marina, get your warm. They will get to you. It's so funny. So funny. All right. And now, before we wrap up the show, we got to do rapid fire question time. So here we go. Rapid fire question time. This is my favorite segment.
Ready.
Just asking Cathy random questions. Look at her, she's got her face on.
I'm ready.
You are indeed ready. Okay, so here we go. Are you a rain or sunshine person?
Sunshine.
What is your favorite thing to do on a sunny day?
Bike ride.
Favorite thing to do on a rainy day?
Read.
How many Zoom friends have you gotten to meet in person physically?
Oh, wow. At least a dozen.
Okay. Who was your favorite?
Oh, no, I can't say that. We're being recorded. They all are on the time that I meet them. Let's say that.
Okay, so they're all your favorites.
Yes, at the moment.
Well, when are you coming to Florida, Cathy?
Well, then you'll be my favorite until I go to Mexico.
Good save. So, how many countries do you think you've traveled to based on just doing podcast alone?
Oh, I wish I had this answer. I'm going to say at least 20 countries.
Wow.
Yeah.
Imagine that. Never leaving her home. Amazing. So, how long have you and Rick been married?
34 years this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. Someone
So,
should get an award.
for Rick or for you? Actually, if you could make an award for Rick, what would you call it? Like
Patience of yeah, it would have to do something to do with patience, and it would be a big rock, so that because he's pretty solid. Yeah.
Oh, I like that. So, Rick Nesbitt, if you are watching this, we now hereby present you with the rock for being the most patient hubby of all time.
Yeah. Can you imagine? I have tons of ideas, right? They're all flurrying around. Okay, let's get on rapid fire. I don't want
I'm
to
gonna have
distract
to
you.
make you. I'm gonna challenge you. I think for Christmas time or holiday time, I think you got to present that to Rick.
Okay.
What is a Canadian motto or a Canadian like local saying that you hear all the time?
Eh?
Put it in a sentence, Cathy.
How are you, eh?
That's awesome. If you could paint anything, what would you paint?
Rocks.
I thought you were gonna say worms. Okay. How big is your bed? What size bed do you have?
I think it's a queen bed. I think it's a queen size.
And are you sleeping on the left or the right?
Doesn't it depend which way it's facing?
I don't know. I don't know the side that you sleep on all the time.
If I'm laying on the bed, I'm on the left side. Like, okay.
Do you ever take the covers from Rick?
All the time.
All the
Yes.
What is your favorite junk food?
Junk food. Oh, favorite junk food. Oh, I really like chips.
Chips? What flavor though?
Oh, unfortunately, I like them all. But I really like salt and vinegar.
Salt and vinegar? Nice. All right. Favorite season?
Favorite season, fall.
What is your favorite pet's name? Do you have a pet?
I do have a pet. Favorite. Oh, I would have to say it was a Bijou. I went to Quebec to find that name. It means jewel.
Jewel? Okay. Excellent. All right. What are you making for dinner tonight?
Tonight, I'm probably making like some chickpea stew.
Oh, that sounds delicious. Okay.
I'm a great cook.
Good to know. How many cups of organic coffee do you drink per day?
2 to 3.
Okay. Will you ever get a cell phone?
I don't know. I might, I don't have any plans, but how society goes. I might not be able to function if I don't get a cell phone. Open the door. You need your phone. Oh no. How do I get in?
I admire you though. I mean, I think that is so cool. And I still remember you're going to do a whole comedy sketch for Waiting for It on how to live without a cell phone. So
yeah.
You heard it here first. Cathy Nesbitt's working on it. Comedy. Do you have a favorite muffin?
Favorite muffin? Oh, I like blueberry bran.
Ooh, blueberry bran. Excellent. What was your favorite fortune cookie saying? Do you have a one that you remember?
Oh, I used to have one that I pinned on my thing. It was before I went traveling for 13 months, and it was something like, "You're going to travel the world." And I did. Now I'm just zooming around by podcast.
Isn't it amazing? Like sometimes we have this one conception, like travel the world, but now It doesn't have to be by plane or train. You just do it by Zoom. It's
Right.
fantastic.
And
Fantastic.
so many
Thank you.
heart-centered, like-minded people. It's so beautiful. I love it.
Exactly. Let's see. Name one person that you admire.
Olivia.
Aww.
It's true. Oh my gosh. I'm just like, oh, the student has surpassed the teacher. All right.
That was not planned. But thank you. Thank you so much. Um, what's one mistake that you've made in life that you learned from?
One mistake in life that I learned from. One mistake well, there's been many, but one I would say, selling worms by the pound, like starting a business and selling worms by the pound and not having repeat customers. Not that it, I learned from it. If I was going to do it again, I wouldn't do that. But 20 years, I'm still standing.
Worms by the pound. That's awesome. Um, so best costume, Halloween costume that you and Rick put together.
What did we do? We used to do those things. Oh gosh, nothing's coming. I don't even have an answer. Next question.
Rick, start thinking, start planning. Next question. So what sound does an otter make?
An otter is the fun animal. Otter, it's so great that you picked otter. They're the play animal. Have you ever seen an otter? What was the noise that they make? Did you say?
Mm-hmm.
They go.
Do they really?
I don't know. They're really fast and they're underground and they're so fun to watch.
Yes, I do enjoy
Like,
seeing otters. Yeah, they are really fun.
yeah, they're playful.
What's your favorite color?
Favorite color? Probably green.
Green. What's the first thing that you do in the morning?
First thing I do is have a glass of water.
Nice. And how often is it healthy to cry?
Oh, as often as your eyes need cleaning.
I like that.
Oh,
Cleaning your eyes, yes.
I cry all the time. I'll cry at a sad commercial on one of those, like, the toilet paper commercials. I'll cry on those. So yeah, all the time. Where they have the cute little kittens or whatever. You know what I cry? One of my guilty pleasures is Undercover Boss, and I always cry. I mean, I'm sure it's all staged and whatever, but it makes me cry every time.
Undercover boss. Oh my gosh. Yep. Yeah. At the end, yeah. How old were you when you had the worst haircut ever, and what style was it?
Oh, good one. Yeah, it was. I guess I was 6 or 7, and I had lice. So my mom did the old bowl cut. Yeah, it was pretty awful.
You went to school with a bowl cut?
Oh my gosh, I so did. Yeah, I did. Yeah, with my beautiful long locks, and then I had a bowl cut because I had lice. Like, imagine, it's like you have the plague when you have lice. Want to wear my hat?
So what supply in your house is running low?
Which what? Say again.
What supply in your house? Which item in your house is running low?
What supply in my house is running low? There's nothing right now. Everything's topped up. We're all good.
Okay. How long does it take you to get ready for a podcast interview?
Maybe 10 minutes, 7 if I'm really super fast.
Nice. Okay. Awesome. And what's one tip you want to give someone that's just on the fence about getting started with being a guest?
Getting started with being an entrepreneur or
Being a guest. Being a podcast.
So just pick something that you really enjoy doing. Pick something that is going to make a difference for your life. Like, that's going to, like, don't just chase the money. I would say have a plan and go forth and take steps every day.
Love it. Awesome. Well, yay, you did it, Cathy. That concludes question time.
Phew, I was sweating.
Well, I would like to present you with a rock award because you are just rock solid as well.
Oh, this was
You're a
fun.
rock solid guest.
This was fun. Oh my gosh, Olivia, I love you so much.
Likewise. Marina's giving you an A plus as well too.
Woo, woo, woo! Right back at you, Marina.
A plus for you. So awesome. All right. So as we wrap up this show, thank you so much for being on here. And thank you to all the wonderful people in the audience, Marina, May, Patty, all of you watching this on replay, #replay. Thank you so much for just being part of this conversation and just being open-minded, right? These are hard topics. You might not consider them for a show like Get Your Happy On, but we got to ask the hard questions and we got to know how. And sometimes maybe it's not asking those hard questions at all, but just being present, just being there for each other, that you're not alone and that you matter. Like what Cathy said, Cathy, you matter. And I love that. I love that you're here to share that with people too. So I was able to find the links for everyone. So I want to give a big shout out to Jill Grumbach. So hang on one second. Shout out to Jill. If you've not connected with Jill, please get in touch with Jill. She's amazing. She's a certified journal facilitator. So if you've ever wanted to get like into journaling and writing, she hosts, these writing workshops. And I used to attend the ones on Wednesday evenings. So get in touch with her, get on a mailing list so that way you can be involved in the next one. So big shout out to you, Jill, because that's how I got to meet Natalie Segal. And so definitely would love to encourage you, Cathy, to get in touch with Natalie. She's a certified loss and grief therapist, counselor, educator. And, I think there's lots of you to talk about as well, especially now that you've got the mental health aid certification. So I would love to, Natalie, if you're watching this, I would love to have you as a guest on too, because I think your talk was phenomenal about how we talk about suicide and remove the stigma, right? It's time to remove the stigma around that and around mental health in general. So again, you have been, meeting Cathy Nesbitt today. I encourage you to follow Cathy. She's on LinkedIn. And please go to her Chuckle Club that meets every Tuesday. It's a really fun, solid time. You'll always want to come back for more because she always has some new tools to introduce you. And then there's Cathy on Facebook. So please get in touch with her there. And Cathy's website, of course, Cathy's Composters. Get your warms, get your laughter, get your sprouter.
Get it all.
Get the organo coffee. Get it all just from this one site.
Not bad. Pretty good presence without a cell phone.
Right? Amazing. So she is very prolific. And then, of course, please tune in and subscribe every Friday. There's a new video release that Cathy drops. And so I just love seeing that project. I just love that Rick is coming around finally.
He was laughter hesitant, but now it's okay.
And it's so beautiful to see because you're doing your thing and like Rick comes along and helps all the little technical things, putting the animation, putting the graphics, getting the link together onto YouTube. And it's just fantastic because I know he's hard at work behind the scenes doing that. So got to give it to you for your partnership.
I'm working on that Rock Award. That's it.
Yes, I think he more than deserves the Rock Award. Awesome. So, and then one more plug. I want to give a big shout out to Lynn. So Dr. Lynn Perot. So she and I are going to be collaborating together. So we've got a big announcement coming up very soon. But she has a thing called Getting Giddy with It. So Getting Giddy with It is the last Friday of the month, which is tomorrow. And it's at 2:00. And it's where we can go and spin the wheel. Spin the wheel. So it's actually pretty interesting because she wants to help you celebrate your failures. Okay. Not just your wins, but also your failures because, learning, being able to get back up again from a failure, being able to learn those lessons and still proceed, still press on, still move forward is a thing that she wants to celebrate and recognize. So hope you join us. It's Getting Giddy with It. And so it's for anyone who wants to celebrate their fails and wins of the month, spin the wheel of cheer, feel energized and feel, supported and feel that they belong. So that is with Dr. Lynn tomorrow. So hopefully you will join us for there too. So excellent. So thank you again for watching this segment of Get Your Happy On. Thank you, Cathy, for being such an amazing guest. I heart you too.
Thank you. Thank you. Beautiful.
I heart
Yay.
you too. And as always, if you're watching this, please comment, connect, and collaborate. Find ways to, work with one another, work with Cathy, or work with any of our people that we gave shout outs to, and also in the chat. So see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you so much for watching Get Your Happy On. Have you enjoyed today's episode? I invite you to comment. So please share with us your thoughts and ideas in the comments. We'll be checking and would love to reply back to you. Please also connect. Connect with each of our amazing special guests and connect with each other here in the comments as well. This is a great way to network and to make new friends. And finally, collaborate. I would love to find ways to collaborate with you or help you to find collaborations with vast people in my network. So remember, comment, connect, and collaborate. Thank you again. See you next week.